Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You can hear my voice is not fully recovered, but I am bringing in a voice, the voice of reason. This is the collector on YouTube. What's going on, man?
What's up?
I like the camera, man. I'm very happy that you upgraded.
Well, I forgot it wasn't on my computer, so I just threw it on about 3 seconds ago before I
Okay.
joined. So
So the collector is gonna have a thing on his YouTube after we finish this one. So make sure you head over there when this stream ends. If you're not subscribed to the collector, make sure you are. He puts out some fun content, a lot of great shorts, and he's always looking to give stuff away. So, you can't go wrong there. So, today was a very interesting day, and I got into it on Reddit. I'm going to kind of talk about that and get into it. So, I might need the collector to be an active mod in the chat if things get a little bit out of control and boil over here. So I posted on Reddit that I went to the Metacom store today, and I went there to pick up figures for people. And I went in and I asked for Batman first. And they took out the event Batman, and they took out the regular Dark Crusader Batman, the regular version that just got reissued. He said, "Which one do you want?" I said, "I want the exclusive one. I want the dark one." So he's like, "All right." And I said, I want more than one though. I want to get more. How many can I get?" And he says, "You can only have one." So, I go to Metacom stores all the time, and I have never ever been told that I can only get one of a figure. Never. Now, Ian says he's been told that, and I believe that's true, but he also went, I believe, to the store that I was at today, and they told him that. Now, just a little bit of a background. In Japan, they have very strong consumer protection laws, and they've always had them on the books, but after the earthquake back in 2011 and the price gouging that people were seeing with water and all that, the government came down hard, and they really enforced with teeth compliance with these laws. And that's why you see reissues from Metacom being the old price and not the new price. So when when stores are in compliance, they do what Metacom does, and they re-release things that they've already released before at the old price range, because you can't justifiably increase the price on something that you're simply reissuing. It's not a new product. You have to keep it at the original price unless there are extenuating circumstances. So anyway, they don't have anything listed in the store, and they didn't have anything listed on the blog saying that there was one per person. So I say, hey, there's nothing saying one per person. Again, I have never been told by Metacom in all the years that I've been going there to the Metacom store, and this is years and years and years, I've never been told I can only get one. And the guy was like, it's one. And I said, but there's nothing that says that. Why is that? And he says, essentially, because that's the rule. Now, anyone who's ever lived in Japan, and it's too bad Ian isn't here to actually converse about this, but he is in the chat. When you ask Japanese people, especially workers, to explain something logically, why do we do this? Why do you do that? 99 times out of 100, they won't. They can't. They'll just say, that's the rule, or this is Japan and that's how we do it. There's no real logic behind it. It's just the way that they've been taught to do something, and that's the way, and you don't deviate from that. It's like a deer in the headlights if you're asking them to do something differently. So anyway, I asked the guys, like, where's the thing that's posted? Where's the sign? He says, that's the rule. And if you don't like it, if it's not good enough for you, then essentially take a hike. He says that they're not gonna serve me. So I'm like, all right, I'm not making an issue about this, but I just wanted to know, out of nowhere, in all the years I've been going to Metacom stores, they've never pulled that on me. And that includes the last Star Wars Celebration figures that they made available. I was able to buy multiple when they were in the store. So you can't say it was an exclusive, because we had exclusives that I could just buy. There was no limit. I went to the store right after and I got figures. So the way he interacted with me, his tone, the way he looked, he was very rude. Now in Japan, I'm not looking at the chat, I'm just focusing on this. In Japan, there's a concept known as omotanashi. And omotanashi is basically Japanese hospitality. Now, when people come to Japan, they're like, oh, the service is great, people are so friendly. No, that's omotanashi. That is what is expected of Japanese people in their interactions with others, whether on a personal level or on a customer shop level, employee level. And the expectation for Japanese workers is extremely high. The customer is always right in Japan. It doesn't mean that you bow down to the customer, but you are never disrespectful to the customer. Never. This dude was totally disrespectful. The way that he said it to me, just saying what he said to me, like, if you don't like it, take a hike. So I thought that was rude. I live in Japan. I've been living here for a long time. This is what I'm used to. I go back to America. American customer service is bullshit. It's garbage. It's garbage. In Japan, people love it here for that reason. So I was like, all right. So then I ask him, I say, well, how many of the figures do you guys have in stock? And he says, well, Metacom corporate controls that, and we're not at liberty to say. And I said, well, I'm not asking about everywhere. I just mean the store. Like, how many do you guys have in the back? And he says, I'm not at liberty to tell you. I'm like, all right, man. Like, I've heard that before, and that's fine. I mean, I expect that from Metacom. So I'm heated, and I went and I posted on Reddit, because I've had a lot of people ask me to pick up figures from Reddit, more than the Facebook group. People reached out to me. Ton of people reached out to me. Can you pick up the figure? And finally, I just kind of put something together and was like, yeah, everybody who messaged me directly, I was like, I can pick up figures for you. So I wrote down the interaction. And I was very clear, like, when he said basically, like it or take a hike, I was like, that's rude. And people start like saying that I was, number one, I was an asshole. Like, you weren't there. Like, you don't understand. I was the asshole. I have too many expectations for the worker. Again, this is Japan. This ain't America. There's a standard here. And I'm not holding anybody to an unfair standard. This is the Japanese standard. If you're different in America, you're different in America. That's the American standard. People put up with too much in America, in my opinion, but that's neither here or there. But anyway, people's issue was that I wanted to buy all the figures, like I'm a scalper. And that wasn't my issue. people said that my issue was he wouldn't tell me how much stock they have. That wasn't my issue. My issue was him telling me when I asked, like, what's this new rule that I've never heard of before that you don't have posted anywhere? Where did this come from? I've never seen it. It's not posted anywhere. I've never seen this. That's the rule. You either accept it or you leave. You either accept it or we don't sell anything to you. And I'm like, like, why did this have to escalate so quickly with this guy? Like, I'm just asking a question. And people, they kind of misconstrue it. And then people start attacking me. Now, normally I don't give a shit. People attack me, but I was heated, and I gave back, and there were a lot, again, like, people are misconstruing it. Read what I wrote. I've since deleted it because it was a negative post. Read what I write. Read what I wrote. When I said rude, it was following a particular thing. And the backstory is I live here. I interact with Metacom more than almost anybody. I go to the shop. Sometimes I go multiple times a week, and I talk to people. I'm always in multiple stores talking. And again, Ian knows there's a certain way that people have been taught by corporate how to interact with those of us who are asking questions. Because it's the same way they interact. And it's mostly Project 1.6 where the cool people are, which is why I almost always frequent there. But you see it in all the stores. And it's very frustrating, and it's very tiring, and it's very ridiculous. Like, you don't have to have this policy. So for me, it was a snowball that built up. Frustration over so long. And I was just pissed. I'm like, enough of this bullshit. Like, why are you guys acting this way? Why are you so antagonistic? I don't get it. I was not disrespectful. I was not emotional, nothing like that. I just asked them, like, what's this rule? I've never heard of this rule. So anyway, I leave there and I go to another Metacom store. This one is over right by where they had the event. And I go there and I go down and I ask them, I'm like, can I get the figures? And like, yeah, of course. And they went and got me the figures. And I was like, can I get a couple of the Batman? And they went in the back and they were like, no, sorry. You can't. Now, that's sort of what happened in the first shop. And he left it. And then I asked why. The second shop, he's like, no, you can't, because we only got a couple. And corporate told us to limit it to one per person. Now, if corporate tells a worker, this is what you have to do, I'm not going to challenge a worker. Like, you're just following the rule. I'm not going to jeopardize your job. You're just following the boss's rule. Okay. That's enough for me. That's fine. Okay, whatever. But I did ask him, I said, when can I come back and get more? Because at the event, I could buy the figure, leave, go to the back of the line, and then go back in and buy more. And they said, well, we don't know because we didn't get a lot in. So maybe next week we might get more in, but probably next week you'll be allowed to buy more. So I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you very much. Totally different interaction. Totally different. Much more respectful. Didn't like challenge me, put up or shut up, love it or leave it sort of BS. So you do get people like that in Metacom, and I make broad sweeping kind of judgments about Metacom's workers. They're not all bad. Metacom and their policies that trickle down to the workers tends to be bad. And that's where my frustration is. And then on Reddit, someone made a comment that I'm essentially a scalper. let me address that. I'm a scalper. So the retail on these figures is $95.50. I asked people to give me 105, so it's $9.50 extra. Now, what does that mean? It means I have to go in, get the figure, and go home. That's $6 right there on the train. $6. All right, $6 is gone. So now we're talking about $3.50. I got to get a box. I got to get a box to put this stuff in. What's that cost? That's about $2. Tape it up. Got to carry the figures home in the heat, 114 degrees. Got to carry them home. Got to get on the train with your figures. Got to bring them home. Got to keep them in my family's home where my wife is constantly attacking me for my figures. Got to hold these figures and protect them. Like I said, got to box them up. Got to carry them to the post office. I ain't got a car. I got to walk. Everything I do, I got to walk. I got to walk this stuff to the post office, get everything settled, and send it out. So when I say I'm helping people out, I'm helping people out. You know, $8 just on the train and the box. The figure, I'm making $1.50. $1.50. That's scalper. That's me being a scalper. Like, get out of here. People reach out to me. They want help getting a figure that up until this week, nobody had any idea we were going to be able to get it outside Japan. Nobody. If I wanted to be a scalper, I would have been like $20 extra, $30 extra. I didn't say that. I said $10 more than 95. The figure's $95.50. Cost me money to get in. Cost me time to get this stuff. Find the boxes. Getting boxes in Tokyo ain't easy. Trust me. For that size. If I get it too big, I got to pad it up. What am I going to do with padding? I got to buy stuff to pad it. If it's too big, the box, it costs the person more money shipping it. I don't want that. I'm trying to find the right size box. So I'm trying to help people out. And people are just shitting on me. It's like, you know, man, like, get out of here. Like, honestly, get out of here. It's ridiculous. So anyway, when I was at the other Metacom store, the one with the nice people, I learned something new. So again, every store only got a few Batmans in. So the Batmans, the Batmans are very, very limited. Now, if you sent me money to get you a Batman, I picked up 2 today. 2 Batmans, 2 Homelanders, 2 Scarlet Spiders. I'm hoping to get maybe 4 more of each tomorrow, if I can persuade my wife to go in for me. We'll see. She's usually not on board with that kind of thing, but we'll see. Now, I might try to go in tomorrow as well and see if I can get more. We'll see. But they said there might be a restock next week. So I'm going to keep trying to get people stuff. The regular stores should be getting their stock in the week after Obon, which is next week. I'm going to go into Akihabara and talk to one of the stores that get stuff in, and I'm going to find out what's the date. When I find out the date, I'll know exactly when they're putting them out, and I can go and pick up figures for people. So again, these are collectors who want them, and I'm picking them up for people. I'm not hoarding them. I'm not scalping them. I'm trying to help out collectors. If I lived in the States and someone was willing to do that, I would appreciate it. So I'm doing that. So I'm going to continue to try to get figures for people. And I know that Batman is sold out. And I think, Ryan, I'm sorry to keep you quiet there. I think Batman is sold out everywhere online, I think. Do you know? People in the chat, I think it's sold out everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's the first one to go. Was Batman yesterday. So sounds like well, listening to you and Tokyo Joey, sounds like a lot of the resellers are kind of hitting Japan pretty hard. So
Well, there were no people there, and that's the
yeah.
thing. Like there was
Oh,
nobody in this store. It was just me.
yeah.
You know, like it wasn't like there was a demand for this stuff. There's nobody there. And so I
Yeah.
went in and I asked, you know, can I get it? And like, no, one per person. All right, well, where's this coming from? I've never had anyone ever tell me that when I've come to a Metacom store. Never. For a MAFEX figure. Never.
Yeah.
Beer bricks, yeah, I hear that.
I
Not
think here
MAFEX.
in the States, I think it was Target. I don't go to Target that much, but some of the stores have been putting up one per customer. I'm just like, that's crazy. But at the
Yeah.
same time, who knows? Have you ever seen this person in the store before? Or?
So this again, normally I go to Project 16. That's closed. And that staff, I don't know where they reassigned them, but I'm hoping they put them back in the Project 16 store that reopens, and it's going to be called like Metacom Toy Tokyo or something like that. That shop reopens on August 23rd, and I'll be there. And it's quite possible they're going to have figures in the store on August 23rd. And it's quite possible that August 23rd might be the release date for the physical stores. So like Ami and the other stores in, you know, around Tokyo and whatever. So I've never seen this guy before, but I have been in this store before. When the brown suit Wolverine came out, they gave me the run around there. Like, you know, they were super unhelpful. And, you know, it's just frustrating. Like, I'm a customer. I'm not asking to buy more than one thing. I'm just asking, where's this one thing that I was told you guys have? And, you know, just being super uncooperative, being super unhelpful. That's one thing. But then the thing today, the guy was just plain out rude. And I don't understand why you have to be rude to someone who, you know, is a customer base. I wasn't disrespectful. I wasn't emotional. I didn't have a high voice. I was calm, just asking him, like, you know, what's this rule? I've never heard of this rule. Do you have anything in writing for that? And he was like, you know, no, it's the rule. If you don't like it, you can go. Like, all right, whatever. But anyway, I found out. Now, this is important, people. Listen, if you got the Scarlet Spider, this guy got the Scarlet Spider. He was like, what? Listen, if you got the Scarlet Spider, apparently at least one of the webs that it comes with is broken. I didn't notice it in mine, the one I opened and I kind of did a review. I didn't notice it on mine. But when I picked it up today at the second shop, they were slow bringing it out. And I was like, what's going on? And the guy told me that the Scarlet Spider, he opened up the box and he replaced the web because it was broken. And I was like, it was broken? He's like, yeah, it was broken. It's broken. I was like, is that common? He's like, it's broken on all of them. I was like, get out of here. He's like, yeah, it's broken on all of them, except this one that he switched out with me. So I don't know if they just got a defective batch. I haven't looked at the other ones that I picked up for people that I haven't shipped yet. But that's something to be aware of, people. Like, he was telling me that, I didn't see it, he just told it to me, that the web, the main web that kind of curls, that web He said that's breaking. I don't know how. I'm not sure how. But he was saying that the batches they got in, all the ones they had left, that web was broken. So, again, if you do get it, inspect it. If it's an issue for you, reach out. If you get one, I know some people got two, open them both up and check it out. Make sure that they're good. Because if you got a second one to, trade or whatever, you don't want to be stuck with it. If you don't have to be. So that was interesting news that I learned today. So to recap, I'm going to keep trying to get the figures for people. Like I said, I think that Batman is very hard to get. If you sent me money, particularly for the Batman, I'm going to keep trying to get you your figures. If you want your money back, I mean, that's cool. That's all right. But I would say probably try to give me until the end of the month. And, I'll keep looking, and I'll keep trying to get it. I'm not in Tokyo this coming week. This coming week is Obon. I wouldn't expect anything to really happen during Obon. It's a very important holiday season in Japan, and nothing's going to come out. Nothing's going to happen because people take the holiday. It's holiday season for people in Japan. They go back to their hometowns. It's very important. So I'm going to my wife's hometown. We've had this planned for months. So I was saying that the figures that I do have, I'm unable to send next week. If I haven't sent it yet, I'm not going to be able to send it next week. So, just bear with me. I'll be back on the 19th, and I'll be back on the 18th at night. So I'll start sending stuff out on the 19th. Yeah, I saw your Reddit post and decided not to post because of the toxic comments. Yeah, it doesn't matter that you're just helping people get otherwise hard to get figures. The web is full of salty, jealous types. Yeah, I mean, I was saying that to like Ian. There's some people that'll hate you no matter what. I know all my life, there's people that like me, there's people that don't like me. And, I mean, you got to have thick skin to grow up. I think in the time that a lot of us grew up, and, people calling you names, or people telling you that, you were in the wrong, I was in the wrong for what happened today, is like, dude, you weren't there. Like, what are you talking about? You don't understand Japanese culture. What are you talking about? Like, you don't know what happened. You don't know the degree of our interaction. Like, and then I'm very clear, like, this is what was rude. Not this, not this, this. So don't try to associate it all. Don't try to bunch it all together. So, yeah, it's the web that loops. It's the web that loops. It's the one that I think he holds on to. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sorry I wasn't able to kind of keep up with the chat. I'm only looking at the chat right now in real time. What's up, Gary? So those figures that are, nothing's confirmed for this month. Nothing is confirmed yet, except for those 3 figures that we just talked about. That other Batman is out. I've seen it on the shelves, that first Night Crusader. Bane and Hush should be coming out this month. Whether it's this month or the beginning of next month, I don't know. Again, the people that I normally talk to, I can't talk to. And then we have Andrew, which is supposed to come out. We have Jubilee, which is supposed to come out. We have, not Dr. Fate. We have X-Man, which is supposed to come out. Who's the other one? Do you know off the top of your head? Anybody in the chat? There's one more that's supposed to come out.
I totally forget. You're talking about X-Men?
Well, X-Men.
We got
X-Man is
Rogue.
supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, so Rogue, Jubilee.
Well, not Rogue, Jubilee. Jubilee.
Yeah.
Rogue's been pushed to September. Wolverine and Cyclops have been pushed to September, and Dr. Fate has been pushed to September. So Bane is being re-released. Hush is being re-released.
Wolverine, what's next?
Bane and that Batman are being re-released at the same time. So that Batman is in stores, and then the Bane is coming right after it. So if you need them, now's the time to get them to pair them up.
Especially with Bane, what, 9,000 yen? That's,
Yeah.
with the prices keep going up. I saw that price. I was like, that's not bad at all.
No, it's
At
not
all.
bad. Shazam. Thank you, man. Shazam's that fourth figure that's supposed to come out this month. Yeah. Nobody's gonna get that Shazam. So again, even when the people are there that I know these days, because there's been so many reissues, everything's kind of, everything's fluid with Metacom right now. It's really hard to kind of pin down a date. Now, they normally release stuff on Saturdays. I would say that Andrew is probably coming out on the 30th, August 30th. Don't hold it to me. But I'm pretty sure that they're probably going to release their new releases that weekend. Because right now it's all about these event figures. So I would say, nothing's coming out during Obon. So this weekend, today, there's nothing. Next week, probably nothing. So then you just have, the end of the month. So, do you have a take on the potentially crazy price hikes from Japan to US? Ryan, you're more attuned to what's going on with the tariffs, right?
Yeah, the thing that scares me the most is when Stinky Figures sent me a message from the White House that said it would be additional charge of $80 per item, and I hope that was written wrong. And then I think it was Wakanda sent a message this morning saying something about that the tariffs were not affected by anything or shipment less than $800, but that's going to be taken away. So that's, those are some uncertainties and things I haven't really been affected in the past. The only company that's ever charged me extra that they had it in writing so far as Sideshow, and then other retailers that were distributors that deal with Sideshow with Hot Toys. And you're talking about like $10, but $80 per item is going to be an issue if that's the case. And I'm not sure how companies would survive that. I've also heard conflicting reports about who actually pays the tariffs, if it's a sender or if it's not. So what I understood at the very beginning, months and months ago, before it even gets on a boat, somebody has to pay it. So we all know that's going to be affecting the prices in the end, because not many people are going to get a package and pay extra when they get it at their door. I've never had that happen. I know I shipped years ago.
They do that in Canada all the time to people.
Yeah, the only place I've ever heard that some guy bought some on eBay from me one time, and we're talking, I can't recall. It was like less than $50, and he told me that the post office was demanding money because it wasn't considered media mail. It was a book, and he said the post office made him pay $20 or $30 extra, which is crazy.
I get that all the time when I order stuff from Amazon in the USA and I ship it here. If it's $100, I have to pay a tariff. But if it's $99.99, I don't.
Yeah.
So I would always break stuff up to make sure that it's like right under $100, because if it's $100 when I get it, I've either paid the tariff to Amazon initially, they take care of it, or when the post office brings it to me, I got to pay them. Yeah, that's just $100. Anything that I've, years.
perfect examples like BBTS. They'll raise their prices on certain things. You can go directly to the company and buy it for so much cheaper.
Mhm.
So I think these companies probably are going to have to work with the shippers and try to figure out, for the factories how to get something made for cheaper to off cost it, because a company can't sell their product for such a jacked up price. They're going to have to figure out ways to cut corners or to shorten up cost, or they'll be put out of business. So unfortunately, I think for like the smaller companies, it's going to hurt them more. But at the same time, we've been talking about this for how many months?
Yeah.
3, 4 months. And,
Easy.
some people complain about more than others. But then you see prices all over the place. 1/18th is hilarious because 1/18th is the same. I'm finding out the same cost as most, or, an average 1/12th. It's crazy. Like I bought like some 1/18th, they range from anywhere from, and I'm just talking about, the basic, $24 to all the way to like 32 or in the mid 30s. And then you got 1/12th, basically the same, depending on what figure you're getting. So it will be interesting. I think the bigger companies like Marvel Legends, I think they'll just keep going up in price because they know there's a demand for it.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of us are like, that's crazy. I don't know why people keep supporting a
As
company.
long as people keep paying.
Yeah, MAFEX, that's a company that's kind of getting up there in price.
Yeah.
And
It's at the limit for me. I'm not spending 15,000 yen a figure. There's no way.
and then I saw what the Joker, the new comic Joker that they came out
Hot
for
Toys.
Hot Toys. They want 280 for that. So in the United States from Sideshow, and in 1/6, it keeps creeping up. And I'm not kidding. 1/6 is like $20 here, $20 here. And a lot of people used to complain about it. I don't hear it that much anymore. The amount of buyers, I swear, is just dwindling down.
Yeah.
And all that limited edition, limited quantities, I think they're not selling as much as they used to do. So they're just, using the words for marketing to drum up the interest of people that are actually buying. But at the same time, so many people are canceling. And even Hasbro is making it tougher for people to cancel, is what I'm hearing.
Let me address this for John Doe. If Metacom can replace those webs you were talking about, why can't they always provide replacements for other damaged defects? If you're in Tokyo, they can. That's the thing. You got, like, here it is. Put it in front of them. Like, here it is. When I've returned stuff to AmiAmi, I'm not joking. They'll look at it and inspect every single thing in the box, and they'll look it over for like a good 15 minutes, and they'll have multiple workers look it over. It's a long process to get them to replace it. In the States, I'm telling you, like, everything is different. It's a different place here. Totally different place. When you want to return something, you can't return anything here if it's not broken. Nothing. It doesn't fit, tough shit. You shouldn't have bought it. The only stuff you can return is defective stuff. And so if you want to bring something back and it's defective, you got to prepare to hang around for a while they inspect it. Now, Ian has gotten stuff that's been broken from like Kyoto, which is the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi stuff. And, even he brings it back in the store and it's hard to get them to replace stuff. I mean, it's different. It's a different type of place here. It's a high trust society. So they want to inspect every single aspect of it, either for their own peace of mind or for yours. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much going on. But if you're in Japan, you can get this stuff taken care of. If you're not in Japan, they kind of don't give a shit about you. I've said this about Tamashi Nations, Figuarts. When they're tabulating like their sales, they don't calculate, they don't tabulate and add stuff that's sold outside Japan. They don't care about that stuff. They only care about the Japanese market. So, it's just a different mindset going on here. Sorry. If you see a McFarlane Shazam, okay. So initial goose. So I think my biggest issue is my absolute lack of actual cultural context. What seems offensive and intrusive to me is probably completely different in Japanese culture and customs. It is. I mean, if you're not from here, if you don't live here, if you haven't lived here, to speak about certain things that you don't know about is kind of, I mean, except that you don't know. Before I moved here, I visited here all the time. Every year I came before I moved here. And I thought I knew Japan. I didn't know shit. Like when you live here, like it's totally different. You learn so many different things. There's a type of Japanese language. Keigo. If you don't know Japanese, you don't know what Keigo is. Keigo is like the degrees of formality in Japan. And there's different words and there's a different way of saying it. So if you say it incorrectly in this setting, like it's big time terrible. There's degrees and there's, your senpai, like there's certain things about Japanese culture and society that unless you were either Japanese or you've spent considerable time living here amongst the Japanese and ingratiated yourself into the culture, you have no idea about it, and one of the reasons that I moved here is I used to get depressed going back to America. I saw how well things were running here and worked here, and people were nice and polite and clean and safe. I go back to Boston, it's like a shithole. Like, I get on the train and there's like people with needles in their arms, and I'm getting into fights all the time. It's like, I don't need this. Like, what is this? So, you come here and it's different. Everything's different about it. The way you interact with people, it's different. So again, that's the frustrating part about that Reddit. Like people are like chiming in, I was the asshole and I don't understand customer service. Man, you don't understand Japanese customer service. You don't understand it. If you were Japanese and that guy said that to you, you would blow a fucking gasket, man. You would go and you'd flip out. What he did was totally unacceptable. Totally. Here. It's like in America, an employee telling you go fuck yourself. It's the equivalent. Like, oh, do you have this in stock? No. Can you check? Go fuck yourself. Whoa. Why did that just escalate? You know what I mean? Like that's the degree of what I'm talking about happened. Like for him to say that, it was ridiculous. I would say neither this year. Neither. No, I don't. I wouldn't. Like the Joker prototype wasn't colored and we didn't see anything from the Matrix. Maybe next year we'll see something for solicitation, not released. I'll be out of this hobby if it's going to be an additional $80. You're not alone, man. $80 is ludicrous. The 033, probably not. It's too old. Yeah. Yeah, like Ian's saying, if you think it's offensive where you're from, it's definitely offensive here. Like there's just different standards here. And when people come, they're like, oh, it's great. It's great. It's like, it's great for a reason. Like there's standards here. And people expect standards to be upheld. It's not a free for all. It's not, live and let live. It ain't that kind of place. Yeah, they all turned on me, man. But you know, I took snapshots. I saw who was making comments. One dude I was talking to, he was kind of, he was confrontational at the beginning, and he actually called me a dickhead. But by the end, I think we found common ground. I explained myself a little bit more. He asked some questions, and I, explained it, and he kind of saw where I was coming from. But that was the thing. It was like, if you read, I'm not talking about him, but if you read what I wrote, I didn't say every single thing that happened was rude. I didn't say I expect all of these things from me. People call me entitled. No. Like, I asked you a simple question and you told me, like, to bounce. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't deserve that. I was completely respectful. And for the dude to be like that, it was bullshit. We're gonna cut this stream probably about 10 minutes. We'll be done, and then we're gonna bounce over to Ryan's. Ryan's got some. Are we going straight to your stream, Ryan? You're muted. You're still muted.
About that, I was typing. Yeah, we're gonna go live a couple minutes after. 10 minutes, 10 takes with Kaiju Daddy. The object is to answer 10 questions, come closest to 10 minutes without going over and not being too quick. So at the end of the year, whoever does it, closest person to that 10 minutes without going over, gets a reward. So major reward.
Konnichiwa. Konbanwa. Hustle. I just want to kind of go through quickly. Like I said, we're gonna go to Ryan's. Yeah, I mean, let me say, Reddit is toxic. It is, but there's a lot of good people in that MAFEX group. There's a lot of good people. I've been in there for a while, and I mean, there's a lot of people who don't like me. I know there's a lot of people who don't like me in my own group. You know what I mean? That's okay. I mean, I don't expect everybody to like me, and I'm not trying to get everybody to like me. Like, that's not the way I do it.
In life, it's easier. It's easier to complain or bitch about something besides giving people compliments.
Yeah, I mean, if you got an issue, you got an issue. It's like, all right, whatever, man. But at least come with receipts. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm writing something, don't misconstrue it and then double down on it. Like, I'm very clear. Like, this is what I said. This is what I'm talking about. Like, oh no, you would use. All right, man. Then articulate. What did I say? What did I do? You understand what happened? You still call me a dickhead. What did I do? Oh, I'm not gonna get in. Well, I don't want to use bad words, but shut up. Like, if I call you out and it's well, do your own research. I'm not here to do it for you. Go after yourself, man. Like, that's a pussy cop out. Like, get out of here. So I have a friend worked in Japan 10 years. He moved to France. Now he's running away to Japan. The world should be as respectful as Japanese people are. Humanity would be utopia, or closer at least. Absolutely. I mean, that's why I moved here. I hated going back to the States after I visited Japan. I used to go back to America in the summer and at Christmas. I used to go back for, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks at a time. This is before I was married, before I had kids. And 1 week in, 2 weeks in, I was like, get me back to Japan. I got to go back. Now, I'm from the city. I'm from Boston. I'm from inside the city. And, like, it's such a shithole. I hate going back. I really do. I could never live in the city again. It's garbage. It really is garbage. You see how things are here. You see the people, actually, humans live in a better way. People don't accept and tolerate buffoonery here. You know what I mean? And, you go back and it's just, people are disrespectful. People throw garbage on the ground all the time. It's violent. It's depressing. It's depressing.
I think it depends where you live in the United States too.
Of course, I'm talking about a city. Like,
New York City. I lived there and I did not like it, and I came back to the Midwest, and it's completely different. Living in a place of 10,000 people is a lot different than millions of people.
I mean, when I go back to America, and I have family now outside the city,
Yeah,
cousins, aunts, whatever, and you visit them, it's nice.
yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, a young man before I moved to Japan, I was like, I could never live out there.
Yeah.
Never. But I could never live in another city after living in Tokyo.
Yeah.
I would be depressed. Like, it just doesn't compare. I'd have to be like Jeremiah Johnson living out in the boonies on a mountain or something.
That's why my dad always said, hey, it's, New York City is a good place to visit and live. But then there's people that live there that love it, and they don't know anything outside of New York City. And, I tell them where I'm from. They're like, where the heck is that? And they went to Ivy League school.
Yeah.
Now, does Japan have trash cans?
So yes and no.
Yeah.
They removed all the public trash cans. They removed the ones in the subways and on the trains after a sarin gas attack back in like 93. And then I think it was 93.
Yeah.
Could have been 90, could have been 95, but I think it was 93. And then after 9/11, they removed the ones that were out on the street. So the ones that you can use now are the convenience store ones, like 7-Eleven, Family Mart, Lawson, Mini Stop, those type of things. Those type of convenience stores have little, little areas where you can dispose of your garbage. But people don't walk around eating and drinking with the frequency that they do in the States. Like, people sit down and eat. People stop to eat. There's this misconception that Japanese don't walk and eat. That's bullshit. They do.
Yeah.
They do. But you're not eating a meal like you do in America, like somebody's chowing down on a Big Mac and walking down the street. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Like, you might eat a Snickers bar or something, walking on the street.
Or after McDonald's or the fast food places are packed right after school.
Yeah.
Let's eat an early dinner and then a late dinner, or I don't know what you would call it. So in Japan, are people pretty skinny?
Well, thinner than America. Let's just say that. Yeah. Wait a minute. You grew up in Eastie? You liar. You're a liar, KJ. So don't come in the summer. Autumn and spring are the best time to come. Winter, there's just nothing going on unless you're here like before Christmas. Before Christmas is awesome. Christmas illumination around Tokyo is beautiful. It's so nice. They really do it up, but and Japanese New Year is great. Great. So anything after that is kind of like I would try to come a different time if possible. I've been in Japan 18 years. My Japanese is as good as my American hard R English.
So someone asked where I live, and I said Indiana. So if you don't realize, Indiana gave our greatest son to Boston.
The hick from French Lick, right?
Yeah, the hick from French Lick. So if you
terrible
know,
person. Larry Bird's a terrible person.
Oh yeah, well, it's funny because I think it was an insurance agent or an adjuster came out. I had been an adjuster, came out to my house and told me Larry's a big time drunk, so like just
A drunk?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he was always drinking.
Yeah, he would be plastered on his, on his sofa, and he's going over his house, to do some insurance stuff. So, yep, I think he's got he got Mellencamp or John Cougar.
John Cougar.
Yeah, he's kind of close to me.
Is he?
Yeah, people don't like him anymore though. I think he's, as you age,
Isn't Rick Springfield from
I
your
can't.
part of the
Well,
world?
Rick Springfield was huge in India. I don't know about him though.
I thought he was.
Yeah.
The original Star Wars collector.
Oh yeah. What's the story about that? Because I can't remember. Oh yeah, I saw him on something, and he had all his little collection that was on the table that he had left.
I think him and Leonardo DiCaprio are probably the two most famous Star Wars collectors.
Huh.
Is Christmas becoming a big thing in Japan? It's been pretty big for a while. Again, like when I'm back in Boston and I see the public Christmas displays and Christmas lights, it's like, this is a joke. This is a joke. This stuff is ridiculous. You go to Japan, it's beautiful. So nice. Like they spend money on stuff. The same company that makes the rides and the animatronics for Tokyo Disney and Disney World and Disneyland, it's the same company. But the ones, the electronics and like the marionettes, I don't know how to say it, but like, the entire ride is way better in Japan. Like Pooh's Honey Hut or whatever the hell that thing's called. If you go to the one in America and you go to the one in Japan, you're amazed by how nice the one in Japan is, because the Japanese company that owns Disney here, they lease the name, but Disney doesn't own the park. They spend money on that kind of stuff, and it's way better than the American version, way better. So people who come to the parks in Japan, they'll often say they like the parks in Japan more than the ones in America. They think, everything is priced better, it looks better, and it's way cheaper too. So, but anyway, getting back to your point, Christmas has been big for a long time. Halloween has kind of gotten really big. Halloween was kind of nothing when I moved here in 2007. I think I came the same time as Ian. But now it's kind of, it's crazy the way they do it. So Jermaine Dupri, did he have one? I didn't know that. March is a good time to be here, man, for the cherry blossoms, the end of March. Yeah, Christmas is serious. Like, Kentucky Fried Chicken is massive. It's so popular at Christmas time. It's really popular.
You said Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Kentucky Fried Chicken, because outside of America, like in Europe, a lot of people, especially the UK, they eat turkey.
Yeah.
And, finding turkey in Japan is kind of hard. So, decades ago, somebody, I think it was in Osaka, went to the local Kentucky Fried Chicken and talked about it and got fried chicken for Christmas. And the store manager was kind of a smart businessman, and he kind of promoted the fried chicken as sort of being authentic Western Christmas food. And it just got big. And now Japanese, like, having Kentucky Fried Chicken at Christmas is massive. Type in Japan KFC Christmas, and you'll see some cool stuff.
It's crazy because Yum Brands owns KFCs. They also own Taco Bell and some other places I can't recall, but A&W I think too. But in Long John Silver's. But it's crazy to think of KFC because where I in Indiana, it just seems like every KFC you go to is terrible.
Yeah.
Like you'll find hair in your food, long waits, always out of stuff. And if they don't have a long wait, there's a reason why. I mean, I've walked in a KFC and the ceiling's leaking in the kitchen, like it's raining.
You still have the Colonel statues here. Like, shops have the Colonel statue. And at Christmas, they'll even like put like Santa clothes on them.
Yeah.
You know,
We
it's
we
nice.
got rid of the fried. It's just KFC now. It used to be Kentucky Fried Chicken. But
Yeah, they call it KFC. They just
yeah.
rebranded the kind of name.
Have you ever heard Coca-Cola promoted? That's why Christmas is so popular, is because of Coca-Cola and the polar bears.
Yeah, they had an artist come up with the Santa image to promote Coca-Cola. They had
Yeah.
Santa be red.
I
You know,
always
he
want
was
to ask
red before
people that are
that, but he was
older.
white and he was
Yeah.
green, and yeah.
I don't know if those people are around, but I'd like to ask people if that's really legit, because you see those things on social media and you're like,
No, that's legit. That's legit.
yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it's legit. I just want to remind KJ that I still have your Jaws bath bomb. You better shut up, fool, because you ain't gonna get it. That agreeing with the Reddit group.
When I go on Reddit, I can't even. I
Listen,
can't believe Reddit's still around.
again,
Yeah.
there's a lot of good people on that Reddit group.
Yeah.
There's some shitty people in that Reddit group, but there's a lot of good people in that Reddit group.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I thought it was totally shitty, I wouldn't be there. But I will say, if you got a problem with me, block me. Block me. Problem solved. Block me. Then you won't see my posts. Then you won't, whatever. Block me. I'm totally all right with that. Completely okay. Just block me. You don't like me? Block me. You think I'm a dickhead? Block me. Have at it. I don't care. Stupid. But like I said, I mean, there's good people there. I've talked to a lot of good people. People there have come over to our Facebook group, from talking to me. I mean, there's people who don't do Facebook, and I understand why. And but I don't understand why they do Reddit, but they don't do Facebook. That's kind of crazy to me. That's kind of crazy.
Facebook, to me, the thing that saved Facebook was the groups. When they start advertising, you get like random things in your stream or in your feed or whatever they call it. I'm just like, what? Why do I get so many of these streams? Or I was getting things from India, like in my in the short clips. It's like, why am I getting stuff from India? Doesn't make any sense. So,
and I'll just recap real quick before we end the stream. So in August, we have the three. Well, we have July 31st. I'm going to include that. Is that original Dark Crusader Batman? Then we have, I guess, 4. Then we have the 3 exclusives. We are apparently getting the Bane and the Hush this month as well. And then the Andrew, the Jubilee, the Shazam, and the Nate Gray X-Man Age of Apocalypse are all scheduled. That Batman I'm still including are all scheduled for August. Are they all coming out? Of course not. Of course not. But I think that Andrew has been delayed more than any other figures, so that's probably the most likely. I was kind of told it was going to be Andrew and Rogue, and now Rogue's been pushed back to seemingly September. I got a notification from Amazon that has been pushed back to September. Ami put that notification out a couple days ago. But the Jubilee has leapfrogged the Rogue, so we're not really sure why the Rogue keeps getting delayed, but it is. So we'll see. Ian came back for the group. Good man. Damn Foo's wife came over for Christmas in Yokohama. Yokohama's a nice place for Christmas. They have some nice stuff going on there. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you kind of watching. Thank you for letting me vent again. Like, I got into it. I deleted that post on Reddit. But, the amount of people who were just like, I was an asshole. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, you have no idea what happened. No idea. So Everybody jump over to the Collectors YouTube channel. We're gonna do some questions live. Hopefully they're not X-rated.
No, it's not that hard. I mean, I could have made it a lot harder. So it's 10 takes from Kaiju Daddy in 10 minutes. So the object is to answer all of them, and there's one extra. If you can't answer, you need to say next question. It's going to be taking 10 minutes. So we'll briefly be on there. I sent the link to Kaiju, and we'll start right away. Remember, hashtag Kaiju wins. You might win something. So.
All right, guys. So guitars, yeah, it does rain. Sorry, it snows, but not in all of Japan. Like Okinawa is tropical. Doesn't snow there. Are we streaming on Monday? Thank you for asking. No, we are not. I won't be in Tokyo next week. So, like I said, I'll be in northern Japan, visiting my wife's family. So I won't be here. So I don't know if Ryan wants to take over that slot and do a stream. I can join in, but I can't lead the stream. So, maybe I'll talk to him and see if he wants to take it over. We'll see.
We'll see.
He's probably going to be driving around, hustling, making money. So probably not.
Oh, well, my son lost the only key to my truck I gave him. And a week ago, I said, hey, stop playing with that key. I mean, he's just swinging around. And he snaps at me and he goes, I'm not going to lose it. What happens a week later? He lost the key. And the truck was over 10 years old. That was the only key I had. And it's going to cost me $460 to get 2 key fobs and that key. It sucks. I missed the cutoff of the 10-year thing from Ford by 1 week.
You need to make him buy you another snowcat.
Yeah. Well, his mom told me not to steal from my son because I was going to make him pay. Because I'm a true believer. My dad would make me pay for oil changes, gas. I mean, I had to pay for college. I asked my dad for some money. He charged me interest. Made me write checks ahead of time.
That's a good father.
Yeah. And then when my mother passed away, he goes, Ryan, since she had a life insurance policy, I'll cover the rest. I had $800 left.
Wow.
Yeah. And he always told me cash is king. So, hey, guys, the link's in the chat. If you'd like to join, it's only going to be 10 minutes after I get through figuring out how to get Kaiju Daddy on there. So it's going to be 10 minutes, 10 takes, 10 minutes. If you're ever interested in being on it, let me know. I'll try to do it weekly. So most of the times, hopefully, it won't be live. So we'll see. KJ Smith will be a contestant, hopefully one time. It's not hard. It's 10 takes, 10 minutes. Can't be that hard. So.
All right, guys. I'll see you over there, hopefully. Come join.
Okay.
Thanks for joining here. Appreciate it. See you all next time.
Bye.